Has it ever crossed your mind that you won't be here forever? No, this isn't to wish you death, but how do you plan for your family to survive even when you are gone? Perhaps you have heard the term living trust, but you don't know what it means. This video will shed a bright light on it, and you will realize why you need to prepare for the inevitable and not leave your loved ones stranded. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we want to discuss living trust and the benefits embedded in it for you and your beneficiaries. Indeed, nobody likes to think about death as it's a somewhat frightening notion, but then it becomes impossible not to talk about when you think of the family members who would likely be affected by your lack of adequate planning. How would you feel if the assets you have worked for all your life became inaccessible to your loved ones? To avoid this and other issues is why getting a living trust is essential. How do you go about it? What are the benefits? Let's unveil them. What do you mean by a living trust? Well, a living trust is a financial instrument that ensures that your money is given to the appropriate set of people when you die. No one indeed likes to think about dying. However, when managing your finances comes up for discussion, you have to be sufficiently prepared for the unavoidable. Putting a strong estate plan in position can ensure that your family is well provided for after you are no longer here. A last will, testament, and a living trust are two useful tools you can use to prepare your estate plan. If you don't own many assets or you have the plan to leave everything to your spouse, a will may be enough. A living trust allows you to decide how your assets are appropriated while you are still here and after your demise. However, whether you need one or not depends on several factors, and this is why you need the assistance of a financial advisor. How does a living trust work? A living trust is a formal agreement that helps you to transfer control of certain assets to a trustee. You can act as your trustee, or you can decide to appoint someone else to do it for you. The trustee is responsible for managing assets in the trust on your behalf and that of your beneficiaries. The living trust takes effect while you're still alive, and it continues even after your demise unless, of course, you add a caveat to put an end to the trust at a particular time. Depending on your preference, you can decide on a living trust to be revocable or irrevocable. A revocable living trust is a more flexible option since you can change it at any time. This means is that you can move your assets in and out of the trust at any time you prefer or revoke too. That said, it is important to know that an irrevocable trust is permanent, which means once the assets are put in the trust, you can't take them out again. What kinds of assets can you put in a trust? There are various assets you can transfer to a living trust, and they include cars, real estate, bank accounts, antiques, jewelry, boats, coin collections, artwork, family heirlooms, stamps or stocks, mutual funds, bonds, and other securities. Also, if you will need to procure a different deed or title issued in the trust's name will depend on the type of asset you're transferring. There are certain types of assets that can't be owned by a trust, but you can still name the trust itself as the beneficiary. Who needs a living trust? Having understood what a living trust is, the next question is who are the people meant to use this plan? Well, the answer is here. There's no hard and fast rule for knowing who does or doesn't need a living trust. Naturally, you should consider and measure how big or small your assets are. If you do not have a lot of property or you're not married, a will by itself may suffice. But on the other hand, if you're looking for some additional protection for your assets, setting up a trust may give you the financial peace of mind you're looking for. Now, let's cover the specific benefits of a living trust. Number 1, retain your assets in your family. Assuming one of your children is getting married and you do not approve of her fiancé, you should have a trust in place so that in the event of a divorce, your hard-earned property does not end up with your ex-son-in-law. Number 2, it guards your minor children against property predators. Another benefit of a trust is that it can hold money for your young children until they are old enough to manage the money themselves. Several people prefer to give their children access to the money staggered over some time. For example, at ages 25, 30, and 35. Number 3, helps grown-up kids from making drastic choices in life. It is possible that your child is not capable of managing the money himself due to a drug or alcohol issue, or is not prudent with money. The trustee can hold the money in the trust for your child's lifetime and only apportion it when it is needed. Number 4, it brings about a reduction in estate tax. As a married person, the trust can provide estate tax savings. For example, in Massachusetts, a properly drafted and administered trust can help a couple save exactly $100,000 in estate taxes on the death of the second spouse. Number 5, take the sting out of the fling. If you are worried that in the event of your untimely demise, your spouse will find solace with the pool boy or the waitress at the country club, putting the assets in a trust with a professional trustee will make sure your spouse does not take all the money that you have worked for to enjoy with some young lover. Number 6, protect yourself while you are still alive. If you fund the trust during your lifetime and later become incapable, the successor trustee will be able to manage the trust assets to your advantage. This is crucial for single people and for those who do not have any children. You want a trust in place that will see to your provision in a situation where you are unable to make sound decisions for yourself. Number 7, keep your family's affairs private. If you have a will that is probated, it will become a matter of public record along with certain other details, such as the value of your assets and at other times an inventory naming your assets. On the other hand, however, a living trust is a private document. Number 8, avoid probate. If you put your assets in a trust during your lifetime instead of depending on your will to do that when you die, you can avoid probate. All that is needed is the help of an experienced financial advisor or lawyer. In summation, when you establish a trust, you establish a plan to care for the people you love when you are no longer here or unable to support them. A trust can not only make asset distribution easier, but it can also help you leave a lasting financial legacy. We have come to the end of the video. What do you think about a living trust? Is it essential or unnecessary? Let us know in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like and sharing it with your friends so they don't miss out on this important information.